Suzuki just unleashed a monster. 2026 Boulevard M109R is pure muscle bike insanity. What happens when a motorcycle company ignores every rule of traditional cruiser design and builds something completely outrageous instead? You get the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R, a machine so aggressive, so muscular, and so unbelievably powerful that it still terrifies ordinary cruisers years after its original debut. The moment you see it, you know this bike means business. Massive rear tire, long low stance, huge V-twin engine, drag bike proportions. Everything about the M109R screams raw muscle. But here's the crazy part. This thing isn't just about looks. Twist the throttle, and the Boulevard M109R launches forward with the kind of brutal torque that completely changes your understanding of what a cruiser can do. This isn't a laid-back boulevard machine built only for relaxing rides. It's a full-blown power cruiser engineered to dominate highways with pure mechanical aggression. And once riders experience the combination of massive V-twin power and outrageous styling, many ordinary cruisers suddenly start feeling boring. Because honestly, nothing else on the road looks or feels quite like this monster. At the heart of the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R sits one of the most intimidating cruiser engines ever built, a gigantic V-twin designed to deliver overwhelming torque and unforgettable acceleration. The moment you twist the throttle, the motorcycle responds instantly with brutal force. This engine doesn't gently build speed. It attacks the road with raw mechanical energy that feels almost addictive. Low-end torque hits incredibly hard. Mid-range acceleration feels endless, and highway overtakes happen with shocking ease. And unlike many cruisers focused mainly on relaxed riding, the M109R genuinely feels fast. The power delivery is aggressive, but surprisingly refined, creating an experience that feels thrilling without becoming uncontrollable. That balance is exactly why riders become obsessed with this motorcycle. It combines cruiser attitude with muscle bike performance in a way almost nobody else has successfully replicated. And once the exhaust starts roaring beneath you, it becomes impossible to forget the experience. Visually, the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R still looks absolutely insane. Suzuki designed this machine to look like a drag bike mixed with a futuristic muscle cruiser, and honestly, the result remains one of the boldest motorcycle designs ever created. The massive rear tire immediately dominates attention, giving the bike an ultra-wide, planted appearance that screams power even when parked. The stretched fuel tank, low seat height, and muscular bodywork create proportions that feel aggressive from every angle. And unlike traditional cruisers that rely heavily on chrome nostalgia, the M109R embraces a modern muscle bike identity completely. Everything feels oversized, intimidating, dramatic. This motorcycle doesn't blend into traffic, it completely dominates it. And honestly, that extreme styling is a huge part of the bike's appeal. Riders choosing the M109R don't want ordinary. They want something that feels outrageous every single time they ride it. Riding the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R feels like controlling a wild animal that somehow learned discipline. The low seating position and stretched ergonomics immediately create a commanding riding posture, while the huge V-twin pulses beneath you with unmistakable mechanical character. Twist the throttle, and the motorcycle surges forward with brutal confidence that feels completely different from smaller cruisers. Yet despite all that aggression, the bike remains surprisingly manageable once moving. The engine delivers power smoothly enough for everyday riding, while the chassis stays stable and composed at highway speeds. But make no mistake, this motorcycle always feels alive. Every gear change, every burst of acceleration, every vibration from the engine reminds you that the M109R was built for emotion first. It's not trying to be practical or conservative. It's trying to make riders grin every time they open the throttle. And honestly, it succeeds immediately. The 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R absolutely comes alive on open highways. This is where the motorcycle's muscle cruiser identity makes perfect sense. The huge V-twin settles into a deep, powerful rhythm, the long wheelbase creates incredible high-speed stability, and the endless torque makes highway passing feel effortless. This bike doesn't just cruise highways, it dominates them with authority. The riding position encourages relaxed long-distance travel, while the engine always feels ready to unleash another brutal wave of acceleration whenever needed. And because the bike feels so planted at speed, riders quickly gain confidence despite the motorcycle's intimidating appearance. Few cruisers combine this level of straight-line power with genuine long-distance stability so effectively. That balance is a huge reason why the M109R continues attracting such a loyal fanbase year after year. Now let's be honest, the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R isn't pretending to be a lightweight sport bike. The massive rear tire and stretched cruiser geometry prioritize straight-line stability and muscle bike attitude over razor-sharp cornering. But surprisingly, the bike handles far better than many people expect. Once moving, the chassis feels balanced and stable, while the suspension provides enough control to keep the bike feeling confident through sweeping roads and highway curves. Low-speed maneuvering requires respect because of the motorcycle's size and weight, but experienced riders quickly adapt to its personality. And honestly, that strong personality is part of what makes the M109R so memorable. It demands attention. It demands confidence. And once riders understand how to work with the bike instead of fighting it, the experience becomes incredibly rewarding. Despite its aggressive appearance, the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R is surprisingly comfortable during longer rides. The low seat height creates confidence immediately, while the relaxed ergonomics reduce fatigue during highway cruising. The wide seat provides solid support, and the engine remains smooth enough at steady speeds to make touring genuinely enjoyable. Wind protection remains minimal, but that exposed riding experience is part of the motorcycle's raw appeal. You feel connected to the road, the engine, and the environment around you. This isn't luxury touring, it's muscle cruising. And for riders who love that raw mechanical riding experience, the M109R delivers something incredibly addictive. It feels powerful, dramatic, and emotionally engaging in a way many modern motorcycles simply don't anymore. One of the smartest things about the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R is that Suzuki resisted the temptation to overload it with unnecessary complexity. Instead of drowning riders in endless electronics and complicated systems, the motorcycle focuses on delivering a direct, mechanical experience. Fuel injection keeps throttle response smooth and reliable, instrumentation remains simple and easy to read, and the controls feel intuitive rather than distracting. That simplicity matters enormously, because motorcycles like the M109R are about emotion and connection. Riders want to feel the engine, hear the exhaust, and experience the raw power directly, not navigate complicated menus while riding. Suzuki clearly understood that philosophy while designing this machine, and honestly, it makes the motorcycle feel timeless instead of trendy. So who should seriously consider the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R? This motorcycle is built for riders who want something bold, emotional, and unapologetically aggressive. It's perfect for cruiser enthusiasts who care about torque, styling, road presence, and unforgettable acceleration more than traditional touring comfort or practicality. This isn't an ideal beginner motorcycle, it's a serious muscle cruiser, designed for riders who understand and appreciate big V-twin performance. And honestly, that's exactly why the M109R developed such a legendary reputation. It refuses to compromise its identity. It doesn't try to please everyone. Instead, it delivers one very specific experience unbelievably well: pure muscle bike madness on two wheels. At the end of the day, the 2026 Suzuki Boulevard M109R may still be one of the craziest muscle cruisers ever built. It combines brutal V-twin torque, outrageous styling, real highway performance, and unforgettable road presence into one absolutely wild motorcycle. This machine doesn't care about trends, subtlety, or conservative design. It exists to shock people, to dominate roads, to make every ride feel dramatic and emotionally intense. And honestly, that's exactly why riders continue obsessing over it year after year. In a motorcycle world increasingly filled with similar-looking machines and overcomplicated technology, the M109R remains refreshingly raw, mechanical, and unapologetically aggressive. It proves motorcycles don't need to become quiet or tame to stay exciting. Sometimes the best machines are the ones that still feel a little dangerous. And in 2026, few motorcycles deliver that terrifying muscle cruiser energy better than this Suzuki monster.